Hello and welcome to Sombre Hill. I'm Jonathan, and in this video I'm going to be going over my Halloween diorama, The Shape Returns. This diorama was actually inspired by my friend Valextri gifting me the Halloween Kills figure, so I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. They got me that as a gift just randomly, and I had the idea to do a porch scene, not really specific to any house in the movie, but just something that resembles a Haddonfield house. And I achieved most of this with poster board and some green foam from Lowe's, like insulation foam that could be used as craft foam. It was a huge undertaking. Like, I didn't realize how much work was actually going to go into this. And I only really gave myself 3 days to do this before Halloween. I'm actually recording this at 6:49 p.m. right now. But it was a lot of cutting pieces out with the X-Acto knife, gluing them together, basically creating a lot of things out of rectangle shapes. That's all it really was. But it was tedious at times, and you had to really take your time to get straight lines and to make sure that things were symmetrical and lined up correctly, because you could get so far on one thing and then look over and, oh shit, the other side doesn't line up at all. But things went kind of in my favor more times than they went wrong in this project, so I'm grateful for that. Halloween spirits were watching over me for this one. Except at this point, you see that nasty X-Acto knife? Yeah, I accidentally cut myself. Be careful when using an X-Acto knife. Knife safety is super important. Here I was gluing on the poster board onto another poster board because I wanted to layer them up, because I was going to have the door like inset a little bit and then have the molding around the door stick out a little bit, because I really wanted to create that illusion of depth, even though it's just one wall and it's not even like a complete wall. And then I just went ahead and glued the door in there and started adding on the molding edge pieces. This is a cool technique. Basically just use the X-Acto knife to create my lines for my siding and then go back over with a pen or a pencil that leaves like the perfect indentation, so when you paint over top of it, it really does look like siding. This is the same technique that a lot of people use when they're making brick as well, and you'll see me do that a little bit later in the video as well. Oh, this next part, I was cutting out the window to go above the doorway. Just a little simple, like 3-pane glass window. And none of the windows in the diorama actually see through. I kind of wanted this house to be like something that Michael has just left, and maybe it was his latest victim, and so he turned off the lights and he turned off the porch light so that no trick-or-treaters come up and no one wonders if they're up. So he could just continue on, like, not as suspiciously, I guess. But yeah, this window was just a lot of gluing rectangle pieces together to make it up. Here I'm doing basically the same thing, but for the side window. I realize I probably should have cut this out ahead of time, but better late than never anyway, because I think without a window there it would have looked pretty bland. Alright, now I started measuring the green foam board that I bought to go along with the wall, just to make sure everything was the right width. And this is what I ended up with after I cut out all my foam. 3 layers high for the porch, and then 1 layer for the grass and the stairs below was my idea. And you actually see right here, these are some of my blueprints that I was actually using. I actually draw out a lot of diorama ideas that I have, and this is just some of the ones I did for this project. And then here I was putting the base together using these plastic pins, and then I also went back and glued everything together. Alright, so here's the steps that I made. I did this, which is with leftover pieces of foam that I had. And then I learned that if you actually just use some tinfoil rolled up, you can get a really nice rock texture all over your foam. And it depends on like how hard you press and everything. Yeah, you can kind of see it in the lighting there. And when you go over that with the dry brush, it ends up looking like real stone. And here I'm adding a little bit of detail with some cracks and that hole up top that was left over from the irregular cuts. I filled in with some more foam to just look like it was repaired with more stones, or it's crumbling apart because it's so old. Not like this is meant to be like an old house or anything, but I really wanted to give it some character. And then eventually this is the idea that I had, to use these 2 pieces up top as like the base for the pillars to hold up the awning, and then that foam piece between the stairs and the upper part as this, my actual template like canvas for my bricks, using the same technique for the siding, where I made indentations with the X-Acto knife and then expanded upon that detail with this pen. And there we go. That's what we got going on right now. I'm excited to see it painted, but wow, I'm loving it. Alright, let me show you what we're working with currently. I have glued the base onto the back. It's just another piece of foam, and then I glued the front door and the window and everything to that. And you'll see what I mean right here. This is the backing piece. So my plan now is to build the roof. Just a little section that goes out to about where the porch ends. I'll have 2 posts here going up supporting that section, and then a little tiny railing on either side, just with a couple rails. Alright guys, I'm going to give you a little preview of what the heck I've been working on. Shingles, and these are going to be my shingles. And so far I've glued this many over here on the roof, and I'm planning on finishing this right now. Alright, so doing these shingles was tedious as hell, but the end result I was really happy with. Doing them individually, it wouldn't have looked any better any other way. But painting them was a nightmare. I should have painted them all first, but wouldn't that have also been a nightmare? I have no idea, but not looking forward to doing that again, but I probably will in the future, because I would love to make more of these, and maybe do some more authentic actual houses from the film. But anyway, now I'm getting onto the painting portion of the video, and I basically primed all of the white foam. I didn't feel the need to prime the insulation foam as much, but I did still prime some of it. And then I went over the railing, the borders of the door and the windows, and some other pieces with this light mocha color, because I was actually using a template of like the colors from the way the current Myers house is today in real life. Now it's like kind of got this blue slate color. It's got some tans, it's got some browns. It looks really nice. So I wanted to take that kind of color scheme, that palette, and apply it to this house a little bit. But moving on to painting the siding, I ended up going with this like lighter blue mixed with gray, but it came out kind of like a greenish color. So by the end of the video, I went over this with gray. And I moved on to painting the door, just went with a blue door. After I painted the door, I did some painting on the steps and the patio, but I tried to do a lot of washes and a lot of dry brushes to do my best interpretation of stone bricks and stone steps. There's a few more things that I do off camera, but I really think the final result turned out killer. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to give another big thank you to my friend Valextree just for getting me the figure and helping me create the intro to this video and also work with some of the music. It wouldn't have gotten out without your help, so I really appreciate it. Besides that, I hope you guys enjoyed this diorama. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into this one, but I think after the hard work, it turned out pretty cool. So with all of that said, again, thank you for watching and have a happy Halloween. Peace.